Roger, two of us are Sheck. Let's just talk about the start of your year. What's been happening? A little bit of a setback early on. How's all that been?
Yeah, it's been good. I think pre-season starting there, it was tough this year. Missing you and your energy, but no, it was tough this year pre-season. And then went to Vegas. Boys were pumped. Went to Vegas pumped, and then kind of like a bit of a punch in the face after that loss, because we knew with Fish and what he was bringing, and Barney, like two captains, like alphas, they're leading the front. We're pretty pumped, and then get punched in the face at that Raiders game, and then come back home, and then just like, okay, settle, get your feet on the ground, let's go back to work. Let's see if what Webby and they were trying to do will work for us. Let's see this new game style, and then boom, the boys won back-to-back 3 games in a row. Tough one against Melbourne, and they win another couple on the road, you know. So it's been going good, bro. We're excited. We're starting to believe the type of play that Webby's got for us. Me personally, just trying to stay in there and keep that left wing as my home with Wets on my inside, and another hammy.
The old boy broke down early. That's what I had to go through. So how did you find like all these little setbacks, bro? Like you've been through a heap, right? You've been through a heap throughout your career. This time round, all I heard from afar out of pre-season was that like the resilience, how tight the group was, how connected the group was through the roof. Was through the roof. Do you feel that even when you're going through your hammy? Yeah,
it's something that we've plastered on the wall now. You would have known our 4 pillars. We've added a pillar. One of the pillar is how well can we connect after an error? How well can we complete after an error? So that's been a big piece this year.
Why are you adding pillars now?
Bro, I know. What
was this pillar last year, man?
You know that one's, well, it was because of last year we had to exaggerate on that point. Okay, boys, we'll come together under the post. Bro, you know the 3 breaths that we do? I had to reintroduce it, why we do it. About coming in and what Kieran Reid, when he brought it from the All Blacks, like I had to reintroduce and why we do it. Because some of the boys were just, they didn't really get the meaning of it, so we had to reintroduce that. We came together, now it's part of a pillar, and it's part of our rehab. You know, there's all of us.
All right, so we all start playing the game because it's like play with your mates, you end up falling in love with it. It's just the best ever. What did the start of your journey look like? How old were you? Where was it at? Your rugby league journey?
Yeah, well, I started just playing rugby for the fun of it. You know, I loved it. I was in primary, and then my dad came across a rugby team down the road, East Tamaki Rugby Football Club. They had an under-8 team, and then got pulled into that. More so just to burn some energy. You know, I was just something to do. You know, Mum was like, come home, mucking around. Okay, go to training Tuesday, Thursday. So started my journey at East Tamaki Rugby Football Club, where I met my first hero. Apart from my old man, his name was Eric Rush. He coached us down there.
Well, hold on. So wait, Eric Rush,
the
was
legend,
a coach of yours.
Yeah, so his sons. So I played with his sons.
Right.
So he
writing was on the wall.
So his sons were there, and we had pretty much an All Black legend, Sevens legend, coaching us, drilling us with things about rugby, and everything he done to us was, the fitter you play, the fitter you get, the more you enjoy the game. So he just taught us about getting fit, and we'll enjoy it more.
Okay, well that explains a lot. That explains a whole heap to how you approach the game now. You've just carried that mindset throughout your whole childhood.
Yes, pretty much. So I had Eric Rush on one hand going, the fitter you get, the more you enjoy the game. And I had my old man on the other hand, who was footwork, step, and he loved that side. Combine that together, and that's what, from East Tamaki right up to Otahu College, and right into going over to Roosters, that's the mindset I had.
In a nutshell, let's talk about your footwork. You've obviously got the quick zing, you know, like don't give the defenders much time. Where did you figure it out? Where did you first like feel it or learn that, damn, this is something here?
I started at East Tamaki with my old man. He used to make me do all these drills that I didn't understand at the time. All these footwork drills with the cones. Even had the ankle weights at one stage, doing steps. Like, honestly, I didn't...
Bro, wait, so you actually trained it?
I actually trained it, Trained it from young, but I didn't understand it at the time.
That's where I went wrong, ladies and gents.
Oh, man, And then, as I started to go into leagues, that was always rugby coming through. And in rugby, there's too many people in the field. You beat one guy, there's a save, you beat. And then in the league, I started to work out, there's just one line. I just needed to beat one person and go. So I started to work at that. The closer I did the step, the easier it was to beat one-on-one. Where if I had to step you here, then I've got to step save, and there's another save, these 3 guys. But the closer I got to someone, I could pretend I was going straight and boom, do it real quick.
Yeah.
It was just one person, and then I could just go through, and it was just me and the fullback.
That's freakish.
So the closer I could get the step on to someone, then the easier it'd be to beat the whole line.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
So that was the idea of it.
We'll go now to a couple of different stages throughout your career. First transition we're going to talk about was league, from rugby to league, when you made that decision.
Yeah.
Yeah, was that a hard one? Were you set on All Blacks and that, or were you like, damn, okay, like league is where it's at. There's a clearer path here.
No, so I was pretty lucky. I got selected for New Zealand rugby schools and New Zealand league schools. So I had to choose, and for some reason I chose to go rugby union because they're traveling to Oz, where the New Zealand schools were playing in New Zealand. Yeah. So I'm like, free trip, all the gears, and I went over and I played. And then we had a meeting where they painted a pathway for me for New Zealand schools. Yeah. And they go, okay, Roger, you're going to be here. You're going to go into the Blues Academy. You're going to play for this club, and you're just going to buy your time, and you got to go uni or work. And there was a pathway, and I was like, okay, cool. And then I was like, yeah, sweet, I'm set on that. Then I spoke to Roosters, and they go, when you finish school, you're going to be a professional athlete straight away.
You're
going to be NRL. You're going to be minimum NRL contract.
Yeah.
And you're going to come in here, and you're just going to play footy. Yeah. And that's your life. That's your work. And I was like, I'm taking that. Yeah. But at the time, I thought I broke my old man's heart because he's rugby man through and through. Yeah. So it was tough to tell him that, Dad, I'm not going to play union. I'm going to go play league because I'm going to go move there and I'm going to be a professional straight away. And he was like, no, I'm happy about that. You know?
I know family's a big cornerstone of everything you've done. Yeah. You spoke about your old man. So how far into that journey at the Roosters did they move over? At what point was it always part of the plan to be like, fans is coming? Yeah. Or was it like you got over there, it was tough? How was it early on over there?
Well, when I went over there I went to check out the club, and I went, and of course they put me on Bondi Junction. I was staying there, and I was like, this is the life I want my family to live. Like, well done, Roosters. Like, this is where I want to bring my family to live in Sydney. Yeah. So I went over there, and I checked it all out, and I go, yeah, cool, this is the place. And I went over there, and then I was playing 20s, and then my dad came to visit. And it was funny enough, I was staying in the boys' house. It was me, Tai Tuivasa, the UFC fighter, Brandon Tago, he was a Roosters gun, and Tau Tau Moga. Yeah. We're all living together. We're just kids, pretty much.
That's a heavy house.
We're just kids in a 4-bedroom house in Maroubra. You know, we're living together, and my dad came to visit, and he came over and just saw how we were living. Oh man, it was like takeaways in the rubbish. Yeah. We used to go and do grocery shopping, like boys, okay, $100 in, veggies, all the good stuff. Open the fridge, it's just rotting in the fridge. Yeah. No one's touching, no one knows how to cook. Yeah. No one knows, washing is out the gate. One of the boys went and bought a dog, and we've got a dog running around. It wasn't the best. And my dad literally he resigned from his job that he was working at, and he goes, son, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. So he came over. And so then he moved over. We ended up renting a house together, me and my dad, and he just sort of got back on track, and then eventually moved the family over. And then we bought a house in Sydney, and that was sort of my first dream to tick off, was to buy the family a house. So everyone came over, and we stayed in Sydney I was there for another 5-6 years, and the family there for another 10 years.
Do you still have that pad over there?
No, we sold it. Oh man.
So you thought it couldn't get any better, eh?
Man.
Well done. Let's go, your first year, early stages at the Roosters, you had a pretty red hot start to your career. Right, we've gone to Premiership, Dally and Winger. Fondest memories of that little stretch of footy?
Man, it was...
Even the players you learnt off, the people you're surrounded by. I remember playing you guys, I remember the squad you had. Like, players that, I don't know, but like for me, somewhat idolised, you had them on a pedestal. Yeah, my debut was against the Roosters, like the Mitch Pearces and Minachillo and all these boys. So you got to actually rub shoulders with them. Yeah, it was cool. Like I think back to our 2013 team, and I remember during like 2 weeks in pre-season, we all went on this like vegan diet. We all like stuff like little things like that I remember. Yeah. We all went. You can only eat raw meats. It was crazy. Was that headed by someone? Did someone just?
Yeah, no, that was our trainer, Keegan. Like stuff like that. Like we did so many things like that together. We as a group, we all went on a vegan diet. Started there. Like I had no idea what that was, but literally you can only eat like raw fish, raw meat, and just veggies. So like starting with that, we all bought into that, and then we all went into games, and we were we were winning games like nil, like we were beating teams and they couldn't score on us.
Yeah.
But it wasn't enough for us. We like everyone was back in the office, back on the computers, and I was just shocked. Like it just wasn't enough for us.
Yeah.
And we went and won it, and that was all driven by our leaders. And that was like, you got like Jared, you got Sonny, you got Sam Moore, you got Frank Paul, like all the like cool dudes were leading up front. You know, that's what I loved about it.
Yeah, wow. So like regardless of results, even you're blowing teams out, you're losing, everyone was just the same mindset. It didn't sway.
Yeah, that was a cool thing. The popular guys in our teams were leading up front.
Yeah.
Jared was winning all the fitness. He was just barking. Sonny was smashing guys, saying like run harder.
Yeah.
Like the Frank Paul, who's meant to be out the gate, he was leading all that stuff too. You know, so that was the cool thing about it.
So we go a little bit further, and when the whispers started to circulate that there was a chance that you were coming home, back this side, I refused to believe it. I was like, no way, like, surely not. We're not getting Roger, are we? Yeah. And then a couple of little conversations here and there, and you're back home. Yeah, you're back home. Was that a tough one for you?
It was a tough one.
Yeah, we were. Talk us through it.
Well, I was almost, I was on my way to. I was close to winning everything position-wise, individual awards. We got a grand final. We're close to. We're in finals every year, and then the offer to come back to the Warriors, which on paper there was a crazy team there, waiting for me to come there. But the offer was just crazy. This was my moment to sort of take that next step and to change the lifestyle for my family. Yeah. And that's what I took on the offer. And I looked at the offer, I looked at the team on paper, and I was like, this can't work. Yeah. This can't work. I'm about to change my family's lifestyle, my extended family's lifestyle, and I've got a team here to work with. And that was the whole reason why, okay, let's go. This is a real challenge. And probably the other one was people saying, don't go. You're going to go there and waste your career. And that was the final, like, no, I'm going there and watch me. Watch this. So that was it,
Okay, so you come back. What were if there were any, was it what you expected? What was the surprises? What was like, hey, what's going on here? You can get a little bit honest and raw with this. This isn't, we've moved well and truly on. What are some of the things that stand out to you about, what was 2016 you come back?
2017? Yes, 2016 I came back.
Yeah. So what was it?
The first thing that stood out was the leadership group for me.
Yeah.
Because I came in and they goes, we want you part of the leadership group. Like, come and have your say and bring something. Like, be confident. Okay, cool. Let's have that meeting. So at the Roosters, I wasn't part of the leadership group, but there was 6 guys who looked after, or sometimes 5 guys who had different units. You got your locks, you got your props, you got. Yeah. So they'll get together and then they'll pass the message on. Okay, cool. When I came to the Warriors, our first leadership group, but there were 12 of us. There were 12 people there, and I was going, man, there's a lot of people in this leadership group. And then we sat in there, and then I think Andrew McFadden was the coach at the time, and he was talking, and then he would ask a question, how's everyone feeling? And then it was Ryan Hoffman would speak, and I go, okay, Hoffy, cool. Yeah. And then anyone else, and he'd be like, no, all good. And I was like, oh, sweet. And then he would ask another one, Ryan Hoffman would speak again, and we're just like, and then Mannering would speak. Yeah. And I would leave that meeting, I was like, bro, there was just 12 people in there, only 2 voices. So it starts to work out. There's too many people. There's too many people here. Firstly, there's too many people here. Okay, leadership group, we need to sort that out. Because it came to the field, it was just, no one was really like putting their hand up to have a go. Everyone was all our popular players it was just too, like they were just too comfortable where they're at. Yeah. And that's the first thing that I thought. No one was ready to rip into each other. No one was ready to be great, and chase that. Yeah,
you're exactly right. I remember when you came, that what you've just said is exactly how I felt. Yeah. So what you've just said is so, because you came over and you were ready just to rip the Band-Aid off, eh? Yeah. You were always almost brutally honest or blunt at times, but it was like we hadn't ever felt that. We hadn't even experienced that, So it was a complete shift in like, okay, you can tell the culture's starting to move. And then when you're starting to live it, like you talk about having a crack, I think that's one thing you can hang your hat on. Yeah. You know what I mean? You're always just like, you know what? I'm just going to go there. I know one thing for sure is I'm going to deliver my game. Yeah. We go on, you get the captaincy. Talk to us about that period. Obviously it comes with, it comes with a lot, hey? Yeah. Especially when you're, you're one team in the country, carrying a lot of weight, a lot of bad baggage too from what had gone on, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, here you go. Challenges.
Yeah, that was tough, man.
Experiences.
No, actually, I was lucky enough. So I didn't believe it at first when Mooks called me in and goes, bro, we want you to be captain. I was like, no, I don't believe it. And then I actually went and pulled a few boys aside. Like I pulled Hoffman and Mannering, Jacob Lillyman, all those seniors are saying, I told them like, oh, coach has offered me the captaincy role. Like, I feel like I'm being disrespectful and taking it because you're here. Like Shaun's here, Manu's here, Simon Mannering, like all you guys, legends of the Warriors are here. I don't want to take it. But funny enough, all of them said, no, you should take it. We believe in you.
I remember that conversation.
Oh man,
that was so refreshing. I remember you spoke to me and I remember just being like, dude, we need someone just to come in here and shake this bad boy up. You know what I mean? So I know what it felt like on the other side, and to hear that those other boys felt the same. So was that big for you?
That was massive. It gave me heaps of confidence, you know, and then took it on, and then my leadership style, and I felt like I kind of changed there. A lot of my characteristics changed within me. I try to take it on way too much. That was my next issue as a captain. Now that I look back and reflect, I'm like, I was captain and I was trying to lead the way in everything. That's what hurt me. I was trying to lead the meetings. I was trying to lead the fitness, lead gym. I was trying to lead I forgot about, you know, like leading our other players. You know, I didn't allow other boys to take on, and that's been my biggest lesson from those early days as captain. I try to do way too much, man. And I just didn't allow other boys around me to sort of grow and be leaders themselves, because we had gun players there, but I don't know if it was on me, you know.
That 2018 season, let's touch on it quickly, because in terms of being a leader, you were the best player in the competition that year.
2018.
Was it 2018 you got Dally in?
2018,
Yeah, so we had a good season. Things started to click. You know, I thought we really started to sort of fire out. We got something here. And you were the best player in the comp. Did you feel? You think back to that year. What changed? What was it for you?
Yeah, for me, I started just to go back and just play my game. We had, like, you would agree on this, we had a Blake Green come in. And Blake Green was the most passionate rugby league person we've ever met. You know? He loved rugby league, and sort of yourself, you started to come in, and I'm like able to step back and be like, okay, just focus on being the best fullback. That's my job now. Shaun and Blake Green, they're going to run the game. They're going to run the team. And on the off field, you got boys that, you know, they're getting there. We're starting to become professional players, you know. So then, that 2018 was rolling nicely. And I thought that's what, we had a really good balance. You know, we didn't have the best forward pack or the best, but we started to find that balance.
Obviously, this is off the back of, and we've probably jumped over a little bit, it's the COVID stuff. Now, I know COVID was tough on everyone. And probably none more so than the Warriors in the NRL. Before I get to that bit of going away, let's just talk about that quickly. COVID, what was it like in Aussie? What led you to make this change of being like, okay, I want to maybe look to do something else?
So so the first year was out the gate. We didn't know what was happening. We got told, jump on the plane, go over, play. Yeah, sweet, let's do it. You know, I'll go over there for that first year. We'll see what happens. Families are coming. No, they're not coming. Okay, they're staying here for the whole year. That's 1 year gone. Didn't see my family. I had a son during that time too, so I haven't seen him ever. And then fly back home with the kids, with the family, unreal, get told, you guys are going to go back over. But this time, we said, we're not going unless our families come. Cool. Okay, promise, families are coming. We go over with our families, and then we just move. We're just running away from it. So we get into a hotel room with me and my 2 kids. Okay, you guys got to pack up and move. Bro, we just got here, moved to this place, train. Oh, we've got to move again. Pack up your family, move to this place. And to be fair, like the places that took us on, like real grateful. You know, Star and Terrigal, they were awesome. And it got to a stage where I just told my family, just go home. Go home and just, you're more settled there. So they went home, and then for the rest of the year, it was like half a season, I started to work out, we're going to be here for a 3rd year. And I was like, I can't do it. I can't be away from my kids for a 3rd year. So I'm going to go back to the club, and I'm going to work in the office, and I'll just do that.
Imagine having Roger Tuivasa Sheck. That's right. Just working in your office.
And then my manager just put it on me, goes, why don't you come and have a crack at rugby? I was like, what do you mean? He goes, well, rugby's
playing back,
killing,
yeah.
they're going well over here. You know, we've actually, Auckland, New Zealand's open to play rugby. Why don't you come over? And I was like, just thought about it. Literally within a week, like, got a release from the Warriors, negotiated a contract with New Zealand Rugby, with Auckland NPC, and with the Blues. There was a spot there.
Yeah.
So I was like, bro, I've been wanting to, let's have a crack, you never know. So
Yeah.
I'd rather, instead of working in the office, I'm going to go back and have a crack at playing for, who knows, the All Blacks.
You go away, you do your thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, achieve some cool things. Pretty cool things. Coming back, what made you, so we just spoke about what made you leave.
Yeah.
What made you come back? It's obviously, I came back to the club, I don't want to say it was that.
Yeah.
Nah, but we had a pretty good year.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing you come into the sheds a couple of times.
Yeah.
And what were you going through at that stage? What was it like for you?
Yeah, so after rugby, I had an review of my manager, as you do, and I was like, okay, we've got a Japan deal. Yeah, cool. This is what I was building to. We're going to go to this club, and what are your thoughts? And I was going, okay, cool. How long's the deal? It's a 2-year deal. I was like, okay, cool. Chicken of ash. And he goes, what about this though? And they go, oh, what is it? The Warriors are keen to have you back on board. And I just like went, are you serious? Like, I thought like that was, the door was closed and I was going to go on that side of the world and see what happens. And yeah, he lit that fire in me in December, and I just like, no, I don't think I can do it. You know, I'm already going, you know, I'm on my way. And then he goes, oh, and so that's in December, and then coming the new year, end of Jan, he goes, oh, Webby's keen to catch up for a meeting. I was like, oh, okay. So Cameron George, Andrew Webster, and Webby, who guys are all new. So I was like, out of respect, I'll go and meet with them, have a coffee with these guys, because I know them, you know, they're good dudes. Well, I turn up and there's a laptop there and there's a projector, and oh, I thought we were having a coffee. You know, and then,
That gave you the presentation,
and then like I started going, oh, okay, like, but
yeah.
And then he started playing clips and like bringing up rugby league stuff, and I just started leaning in and started talking league language. Okay, if the A is too wide, you got to take that. If the B, you know, the marker split, the numbers, and I was like, bro, just all came back, you know. Where 2 years prior to that, I was playing rugby and I'm just like guessing, you know. I have no idea what I was doing in rugby, but came and just felt comfortable, you know. Like I just knew the lingo, I knew the language, and I definitely walked out, a massive smile on my face. Like that felt nice, bro. That felt good to be confident and speak in league terms again. Yeah, spoke to my wife. My wife goes, heck no. No,
You ain't going through that again.
And then, and plus we really enjoy our lifestyle here in Auckland, and kids are starting school, so everything all lined up. And then, signed on to come back and play for the Warriors. And then the way the years were going in 2023, that also lit the fire, and I'm like, I want to be part of that.
I can add to it. You came back, and we probably didn't have the year that we wanted to, right? Yeah. We didn't have the year we wanted to. But in terms of culture and everything you touched on earlier in your career when you came to the club, how was it different coming here for your second stint? Yeah,
you could see the difference. Like, at the time we came was you had Mitch Barnett, you had Kurt Capewell, you had Wade Egan. Those guys were going after it. Our leaders were going after it, and we're like, cool, I can follow these guys, you know, we can follow these guys. And then on the back of it, we had some young guys coming through too. Your Jacob Labens, Dimitrik, Ali. Even though they had the swag about them, but they're out there rolling, you know. Chance was getting them out there to roll. They're getting ready for training. They're ticking the boxes. Bunty and Tommy, they had this crew in the sauna and I'm like, okay, there's something here. You know, these guys are wanting to do it. You know, and that was the feeling I got straight away, and I was excited about it. And like you said, 2024. We didn't execute the way we wanted to, but the boys still turned up, and we're having a dig, and it's showing this year.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that. It was a complete shift from some of the players, including myself, that had been there a long time. The bunties you're talking about, you know, that you make a slight adjustment, and you see the people that follow. You know, what about in terms of coming back you left the club as a skipper, as the main guy, the biggest voice, that when you said something, it was like, oof, you know. But you've come back, and my take on you coming back, you're very much happy to sort of earn your way back in. And you were happy to obviously go about your business, but you didn't at one point do I remember like being like, no, I'm walking straight into this.
Yeah.
So what was your mindset?
Yeah, so that was cool. So even coming in this year, the boys have tapped me on the shoulder, goes, bro, we want you to come in our leadership group. Come and be part of the leads. And I go, no, it's your turn. It's time for your ideas and your energy. And I want to be able to bring that next group up and help that. And for me, it's because of those lessons back then. You know, I'm coming in and I don't want to be like, guys, I'm going to be the fittest, so listen to me. Yeah. Guys, I'm going to be the best player, so listen. No, it was about like let's try and all navigate each other. So if Barney, you and Fish, you take the forwards and you go for it.
Yeah.
I'll look after the back five with Chance and Wets and those boys, and we'll bring it from the back. We'll try our best to try and like there's got to be stuff around. It's got to be a whole team, and that's been my biggest lessons is. Everyone's got to have their input. We've got to give time for Ali. Ali, speak up and say something.
Yeah.
And Tane, you say something. You guys are playing good footy. Be confident, because the more of us that are playing good, confident footy, the better.
That's good chat, bro. That's good chat. The leaving the jersey in a better place is obviously something you hang your hat on, eh?
So true. And
so true.
Days are limited, so I've just got to not try and be the best on the field, but it's even more so being the best around the grounds and try and show the boys that this is the way we want our club to go. You know?
I love it, lad. I love it. Thanks for the chat.
Chat, bro.